Aloha guys, Chris here with TCG Metals, bringing you a deck profile, and this one is of my favorite leader in the game right now, aside from Android 16. That is SS4 Vegeta. This deck has gotten me 2 or 3 tops. I should have played it at Nats, but I wanted to be cheeky. But for what you guys don't know, when this card swings, you draw a card, and when he deals damage, you get to look at the top card, and as long as it's mono blue, it goes in your energy and rest mode. Otherwise, it goes back to the top of your deck, which is cool. Really relevant, actually. Super relevant. When your life is a 4 or less, you draw a card, flip him over, bada boom, bada bing. When he swings, you draw a card. When he deals damage, you burn, or you get to charge a life. When your opponent activates a counter skill, counter play, counter negate, battle card attack, you get to switch them to active mode, which is really cool for something on later we will talk about. So, with Bojack dying, a lot of people stop playing this deck, but I have some spice for you. First, we will get into some obvious stuff. You got cantrips. Got 3 East Kai. This card is amazing versus yellow. You got 2 Burnish Bonds, Borgos. This card is really good against Soul Striker. And then you have 4 Zeno, Edge of Space. Do not be afraid to just play this for 1 energy. Swing with your leader, draw a card, combo. Make sure you have to do that damage early on. So these are not super important other than making sure that you deal damage. Because as long as you get that first 2 damage, the tempo that you create is going to ultimately win you the game. So we'll get into some more obvious stuff. We got unisons for days. We got 4 Boo. Favorite unison in the game. You already know what he does. We got 2 Goku. He is really, really critical for your Android 17 sequence. Because you get to spin your whole opponent's hand back to, or their field back to their hand, and then on your following turn, because they can't swing unless they put a 2-drop or higher from their field back into the bottom of their deck. Then you get to put them all back in their deck anyway with Android 17. So he is really good to protect you that turn going into your turn 4, which is 7 or 8 energy. And then you have God Sealing to back him up. Thinking of putting this to 4, but we'll see. So we will get into the extra cards and then the spice of the deck. So we'll get rid of the obvious ones. Ultra Instinct, Kamehameha, Goku's specifically. It is the staple in the deck. It's the best card in the deck by far. Being able to swing with leader, draw a card, tap 1, he's 25k, and you draw another card, and then you get to ramp. If they were ever to want to hurt this deck, if this went to anything other than 4, it would severely hurt. But with 4, this deck is amazing and insane. It is an extra card. Keep that in mind. It's very important. We got Sensu Beans. Sensu Beans are really good because you can give your leader power. You can untap that ramped energy with another battle card swing and go into your next turn, basically. You got 3D Magic. This card's good. I like it at 3 because you also play 2 Chilled's Army Reinforcements. And then you play 2 Rebirth of Justice. Rebirth of Justice, you ask? Why? Well, for starters, the big spice of the deck, and I can't believe I never played this in the deck, Android 18, Steadfast Technique. This card is amazing because on your 1 energy play, you can, if you're going to go into your cantrip and you don't have UI Kamehameha, let's just say you go into Borgos. He's irrelevant, right? Play 1, swing. You get to swing with your leader, you combo, and you pitch any of these dead extra cards in your hand because the matchup you're playing against doesn't need it. And this is an 11k combo, and then you can combo this. So you essentially have a 16k combo for 1 energy. So it's like your Ultra Instinct Kamehameha. It's better than Sensu Bean. And if you're tapped out, it's really good on defense. That's why Rebirth of Justice is in here as well, because if you feel like it's not going to be relevant this game, you can pitch it and not feel bad about it. So we will get into some of the later game cards. We got 5 Kale, or 2 Kale, Rampaging Demon. This card is really, 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 really good. Deflect, double strike when it's played without using skills. So you can play it off of Rebirth if you just want a 30k deflect double strike. So like you can go Rebirth, give them that counter window 1, you know, if they're going to try to God Sealing you or counterplay, and then you can be like, no, I'm going to do Kale instead. So that's really good for that, to kind of get around the blue mirror. But when she's played, you're going to have 7 more energy when you play her. Choose all your opponent's battle cards, ignoring barrier, bottom deck them, and then she's dual attack, double strike, barrier, deflect. That's really good keyword skills. I would play 3 if she wasn't a 110k. The card that I should play 3 of, but I don't because you just draw so much in this deck. This card is amazing, ridiculous. SS4 Vegeta, Rise of the Super Warrior, Ultimate Evolution Super Warrior. Play him. You get to ramp 4 from the top of your deck, or add them to your hand, whatever you want. You're getting 4 cards from the top of your deck and doing whatever you want with them. And he's a 30k blocker that untaps. So you get to swing with him, and then you're like, okay, cool, blocker. He lets you go from 6 to 10 into 11 on your turn 5, which I don't think any deck can really stand up to that and be happy. Other targets that you can play off: the Rebirth of Justice, Baby Golden Avenger. So you can do Rebirth. If they don't have the counterplay, you're like, okay, cool. Triple strike, bottom deck, one of your cards, ignoring barrier, draw a card, 30k triple strike. That's just really strong, because what you want to do is you want to establish your board, and then you want to drop 17, wipe everything, and then you just have all these big, ridiculous swinging battle cards that do a lot of cool things. Then the guy I've been talking about this whole way, Turning the Tide. You already know how amazing this card is. Deflect, critical, gets rid of all the battle cards in your opponent's drop area, and then all the cards in their hand, and it's just like, yep, cool, you lose. Good game, GG. Game 2. And then our one-ofs. Master Roshi, SS4. This card is amazing, but it's only necessary as a one-of because you will see it. You can Zeno Edge space it back to your hand, charge it, doesn't matter. When it's played, your opponent is like, cool, I get to snipe one of my own energy, cool. And then at the end of your turn, you get to switch this card to active mode. He's a blocker, 30k. And then your opponent chooses one of their battle cards and another energy and bottom decks them. So like you're ripping 2 of their energy, and then this auto is every turn. So every turn you're energy locking them. So like if they're at 5 and they go down to 3, they're not getting past 3 energy anymore for the rest of the game until they get rid of it. But it's amazing. It wins a lot of your matchups for you. Now, these are the little secret rares of the game. First one is Full Power Frieza, 100% Overdrive. He is a target that you get to play off of Rebirth of Justice. So, really cool thing is when you play that 6-drop Vegeta, you ramp 4 cards. Rebirth of Justice lets you cheat out those 5-drops for that 4 energy. He's really cool because when you're playing against yellow and they have that wide board and they're just like trying to nudge it out, you can just swing and mill them out. The really amazing thing about this card is with your leader. So when you ramp, you do damage, you reveal the top card, and you're like, oh, it's a red-blue card. I don't get to ramp it. Oh, well, it goes back to the top of your deck. And then you just go, okay, cool. That's fine. I'm going to play my 1-drop cantrip and draw it. And then that's 1 energy, and then 4 energy, rebirth. Boom. It comes out. It's really amazing. One thing that I feel everyone overlooks with this leader is the fact that if it's not blue, you put it at the top of your deck. So, like, mid-game, cool. We got the real secret rare of the game. Baby Hatch, best secret rare in the game. Doesn't need any further explanation. The other secret rare of the game, Few, Shrouded in Mystery. Exactly what I just mentioned earlier. You swing, you reveal it from the top of your deck. Cool. Cantrip it. Back to your hand. Now you know, your opponent knows, they're going to play differently because they know what you have. And yeah, he's just really good. And then the last card, which is the new addition, Baby Unknown Parasite. So the mentality behind this, the reason it's a 1-of, is because you're going to play this for like 5 or 6 energy, 7 energy, doesn't matter. And play it for a lot. And then you're going to -5. You're going to give your leader 15k and double strike. It's going to let you counter for free with those baby apes if you want. But it's cool because if they do try to counter, your 30k leader gets to untap. So you swing with your Vegeta, they go try to negate, you counter with baby, you stop that negate, then you still get to untap him because they countered. And that's 2 30k double strikes. It's pretty good. So he's like a little game finisher for the deck. He seems really good, especially if you don't see that Boo unison. You can still play him on that turn, on your turn 3 when you have 4 energy, or 5, 4 or 5. You're gonna play baby and still have your 1 energy for the Kamehameha to ramp up 1 more. So I kind of like it a little bit more than Boo for that particular reason. But yeah, that is the deck. That is 50 cards. This deck is amazing. The more mid-range this game gets, which it seems like Bandai really enjoys having a mid-rangey format, this deck will only get better. And I think this deck is going to be a very strong contender up in the next meta. So make sure you guys give it a try. Thank you so much for joining in, and have a wonderful, wonderful night. Aloha.